Thanks for joining us for another Tantrum House crowdfunding conniption. Today we're looking at Blazon from 25th Century Games.
And as always, we want to make sure that you are aware that our crowdfunded videos are sponsored in part by our own Kickstarter backers as well as by the creators of this game. Hey gang, and thanks for joining us at Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today in this episode we are talking about Blazon from 25th Century Games. This is from David Conklin, designer, and art is from Ian O'Toole.
Now this is a 2 to 4 player set collection, tableau-building type of game that's based on high middle-age heraldry. We were given this prototype copy in order to check it out. It's going to be coming to Kickstarter soon. We want to share with you how the game is played, what it looks like. We're not going to really be sharing any opinions, but we want to help you make an informed decision as you check it out on Kickstarter.
To set up the game, you'll lay out the centerpiece board and give each player a shield and all of their matching colored tokens.
Each player will also receive 2 device cards, 2 tincture cards, and a herald token.
Then you'll populate the center board with cards based on your player count, and then you're ready to begin.
Each turn, players will choose between 2 different actions. They'll either acquire 2 cards from the available decks. They may then trade them with any of the face-up cards, or they may blazon cards from their hand onto their shield.
When taking the Blazon action, players must pay the cost of the prestige shown on their card by discarding at least that amount of prestige from their hand.
Then they must follow the placement rules on their shield.
The first card placed in each row will establish the alignment of each of the following cards, either top or bottom.
At any time on their turn, players may spend a herald token in order to take a bonus action, allowing them to do things like clear all the face-up cards or to take the blazon action at a discounted rate.
Distinction cards give players goals to try and achieve with their card placement. They award better bonuses to players who accomplish them first.
Anytime a player is the first to cross a 10-point mark on their shield, they receive an animal achievement token worth extra points at the end of the game, while everyone else receives a herald token.
The game ends as soon as one player earns 50 points, if a player fills up their entire shield, or if all the distinction cards are complete.
Then, end-game bonuses are awarded, points are tallied, and the player with the most prestige wins the title of King of Arms. A game of Blazon allows you to act as a herald, designing your own shield. You'll be doing that by acquiring different elements and by earning different distinctions to add to your shield. The word Blazon actually refers to the way that you describe heraldry. There's very specific terms that you use in a very specific order, and so in this game, you are essentially describing your shield by building it out and designing it.
Yes, and the rulebook comes with all kinds of historic information and explains a lot of the terminology, so if you are unfamiliar with it, you can learn about it.
And if you are a fan, then you'll be kind of jumping right in there. All the elements and cards in the games are named after specific ways of applying color to your shield or putting different design elements and things on it. In the game, essentially you are drawing some cards, you're deciding which ones you want to add to your hand. You do have a hand limit of 7, and so you can't just like collect them all. You got to be kind of smart in what you collect and play, and then you're going to be laying them based on the placement rules that are on your shield.
Once you place a card in a specific row, that will set what your requirements are for the other cards in that row. So you will be covering up one end of the either top or bottom, and then you'll have to follow that same pattern across the rest of the row. Like the circle symbols, the tincture cards, they just have to be not matching the one directly next to it. So the top 2 go together, and then there's some on the side column that go together. Otherwise, all the other cards have a specific location that they'll need to try and fit in.
And one of the ways you're going to be gaining points is by placing those cards onto your shield. You'll also be trying to gain those distinctions at the top of the board. Those are random. You pull different cards from the deck each time. They're also different based on your player count, and you'll be trying to collect the symbols shown on those cards first in your shield in order to score end-game bonuses.
There are also another end-game bonus based on those symbols on the cards that whoever has the majority of those will also gain additional points. So kind of paying attention to what everybody is doing for those is important as well.
Those animal achievement tokens are going to score you 2 victory points at the end of the game. Also, those herald tokens are going to score you 1, so you kind of have to decide between gaining an extra point off of those or using them for one of the 4 available superpowers that they can give you.
Yeah, you are available to place your cards on top of cards you've already placed. That may help you gain some of the extra distinction card goals, or if you've already completed one, maybe you can try for a different one based on the symbols on the cards. But you also could up the points. So these cards on your shield are going to be worth differing amounts of points. So it may be worth to cover one up to spend that extra action to blazon your shield so that you can gain victory points.
There's also another option of play that we didn't talk about, which is called abatement, where you can choose to ignore one of the rules on one of the cards when you place it, and when you do, you have to put a little blotch on there, which abatement is also a historical term, and if you're able to get the blotch off of your board by the end of the game, you don't suffer any negative points. Otherwise, I think you suffer like 8 negative points for it.
Which is big.
That could be huge, yeah, so you gotta weigh those odds really well as well. So if you enjoy the art of heraldry or this type of style of game with the tableau building and the set collection and trying to beat other people to those goals, definitely check out Blazon on Kickstarter right now. And then, as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in, following along, and liking our videos here at Tantrum House. To fill out your shield with very specific types of words.
Words.
Acquiring elements and earning distinctions. By acquiring different elements and something about distinctions.
These words are too big for Will.
And earning them, earning distinctions. So hard. And as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in, watching our videos here, and supporting us here at Tantrum House. Final words. Enjoy heraldry. This game has all that going on, so definitely give it a check on Kickstarter, Tantrum House, the same word. If you enjoy heraldry or that Middle Ages types of art, words
Words are so hard today.